if we just pay attention more to what we're eating, because you are what you eat. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the health of just general people now, there are a lot of people with a lot of crazy ailments, but it is what we eat.
This is a campaign that we're on. We're on with the Zambia Alliance for Agroecology and Biodiversity. Part of this is eat local, eat African food, eat Zambian food, right? It's just trying to send a different message to mainly the consumer. If you start eating impua instead of tomato, farmers will start growing impua. Farmers will grow whatever the consumer wants, not the other way around. So it's the consumer really that needs to change. So a certain amount of our time as farmers needs to be helping the consumer understand the product.
The impact of what you're eating.
Convincing them that this is a more healthy product. This is an indigenous plant rather than an exotic plant. This one grows without chemicals, without any problems, and it doesn't need, it's not poisonous. And so I think this is really all of our responsibility to get this message through to the consumers that, guys, we'll grow whatever you want, but if you want to be healthy, let us grow what the land tells us to grow, wants to grow.
Yeah.
Indigenous, adapted plants will grow better than exotics. No, so what is this? Is this a symptom of a problem, another problem, or is it the problem? For me, it's a symptom of colonialism, and we have to decolonize our food system. Right? I mean, I really think that we've gone completely crazy. Where we eat healthy things, where we eat such diversity. If I go to Mpika and I ask people at a meeting there, I did that. There were 200 people. I said, all right, let's go through all what this forest's got. Growing free, growing naturally, growing in abundance, growing resilient. If there's a drought or a flood, it doesn't matter. You're still going to find that stuff. So there were mushrooms. There were 25, 30 different mushrooms that we named. And we were in a hurry, so we didn't have time to go through all that. Probably there were even 40. Different times of the year, different times of the rainy season, even some that grow in October in the dry season. People have this great knowledge of their food system. Then we went to Ndeleles, and we came to 31, I think, different Ndeleles which people find naturally growing in the forest. And these are things which are superfoods. I mean, these are healthy things. Lumanda and so they gave me that list, and then I said, all right, what else have we got in the forest that we could take advantage of while our crops are failing? And then they said, well, we've got fruits, and of course that's a very rich miombo up there, and I think we got 46 fruits, and then we said, right, let's leave that, let's go on to something else before we run out of time. We went to tubers, and I thought there were 10 tubers in Zambia. There's the normal
cassava,
ones for making
sweet
beer,
potato,
cassava and that, but the natural ones, the bush ones, we got to 26 different tubers. So I said, all right, wow, that's amazing. I didn't want to get into medicines because I know already there's about 250 different medicines that people use. At least 40 of them, 50 of them, which are regularly used by people in the bush. Even a 12-year-old girl knows what to go and take for a headache So there's that. There's the pharmacy there. There's the bush shop, right? Right? So I said, what else? And they said, no, ndio. There's insects. I said, oh, okay, let's start on that. And I thought, well, we'll get about 3-4 caterpillars. We got to 35, and we ran out of time. I had to go.
Wow.
35 different insects, which people eat on a regular basis, and there's a high protein,
clean protein, right?
Beautiful stuff. I mean, that's what the whole world is trying to eat. And we're living in abundance and we're starving. It's a mindset. So you could domesticate each one of these 400 odd forest products, right? So you get a fruit tree that's giving you more fruit than the other fruits in the area. You keep that seed deliberately, and you make sure everybody in your community plants it on the road to school. And instead of just throwing the seed out, actually deliberately planting it, right? You're going to have a lot more of those fruit trees, and they're going to be slightly better than the other ones. So selection comes from a communal effort over hundreds of years, of course. But you can imagine that if you do this, you could get an impua to taste more like a tomato, right? So I still think about tomatoes because My dad was the first guy to grow them in Mazabuka, and nobody knew what they were. That was 1973. He just dumped them in the market. He says, guys, give me my boxes next week, take them home, see if you like them. Then they phoned halfway through the week and they said, wow, those red things, they're too ready. We know Navani. They said, bring more, we will buy them this time. So then he started now growing them for sale.
Yeah.
But this is how new they are.
Yeah.
Now, can't we select impua, which are a little bit bitter in my opinion,
Yeah.
but if we selected them and we select them for a better taste, it's not difficult. It takes 2 years. There's huge opportunities here. There's huge opportunities. And even for the way we grow stuff, a lot of the commercial farmers in Mukushi, Mazabuka, Samba, they're putting a lot of cover crops in now. So they'll do a wheat soya rotation maybe under irrigation, but they realize their soil is collapsed. They're using double the amount of water that they used to, so they need to build soil. So instead of planting soybeans in the rains, they'll plant a mix of 70, 80 different type of plants. They're desperate for these seeds. There's a huge market for, seeds for that. And we're seeing a group of people around these farm blocks starting to grow these legume seeds and mix of there's even forbs and all mix of seeds to sell to the commercial farmers who are now buying them. They don't need to grow maize. They grow these stuff and make more money. Every corner of this country has got huge opportunities.
Yeah.